Welcome, everyone. You're watching Morning Express. I'm Michael Lanos. 5 kids across the country have been killed while trying to get to their school buses. This week, there have been bus accidents in Mississippi, Kentucky, Indiana, Florida, and Pennsylvania. We'll be talking in depth about each one of those coming up. 6 accidents in 5 states in just 1 week, all involving children just trying to get to their bus stops, then go to school. 5 kids have been killed, and kids waiting for the school bus in the dark might be part of the reason why.
It involved a school bus. I knew it. I knew I heard the school bus.
That just into a cell phone video of the scene where 3 Indiana siblings were killed, again, trying to get onto their school bus on Tuesday. And tonight in Rochester, Indiana, the community is planning a vigil to honor 9-year-old Olivia Stahl and her twin 6-year-old brothers, Xavier and Mason. Let's move to Pennsylvania now. Neighbors say darkness also a factor in the death of a 7-year-old boy in Franklin Township. His bus driver found him dead at the bus stop, which is at the end of his driveway. Police say he had been run over and that the driver who struck him didn't realize he'd hit the boy. Also on Thursday, 5 students, 2 adults, they were struck while waiting at a Tampa bus stop. All were treated at local hospitals. 1 child, though, remains in critical condition. Tallahassee, Florida, a kindergartner was hurt as she crossed the street to get to her bus. And on Wednesday, 9-year-old Dalen Thomas was killed in Mississippi while walking to his school bus. The driver accused of hitting him is 22-year-old Hunter Newman. He's now facing charges of aggravated assault. Again, stops you in your tracks. Our correspondent, who is a dad, by the way, Nick Valencia, joins us now. One of the points that we made there, I guess is an obvious one. It's dark still, right? Not that that's an excuse, but it could be a factor, right?
Well, it's absolutely a factor in several of these accidents anyway. These incidents happening in rural areas where it is still dark. There's fewer lights out than in city areas. The CNN Weather Department says that today is the latest sunrise in the United States so far this year. And these dark morning hours, as Mike was talking about, very well could have played a factor, at least in the incident that you're looking at on your screen in Indiana, where 3 siblings were killed crossing a rural road on their way to school. A very tragic week for students all across the country. Those dark morning hours and the late sunrises may also have played a factor in an incident yesterday in Tampa Bay, where 7 people were taken to the hospital, 2 adults and 5 children. One of those children in critical condition, though we understand non-life-threatening injuries. But here's what witnesses had to say about the chaos immediately afterwards.
I was like crying to my knees, trying to like help them like get up and walk it off, but they kept on screaming that it hurts and it hurts.
5 students dead over the course of 3 days, 5 incidents in 72 hours, Mike, and some states' legislators are trying to do something about it.
Okay, so you've got that. We mentioned the base factor that it's just dark outside. Has this been looked at as far as any studies done to like the numbers? Because we see this in a week and we're thinking this is an epidemic.
So
what are you finding?
Last year, a group of bus drivers were at a conference and 20% of them were surveyed from 38 states. So it was just a small sample size. But what they indicated was that these incidents are estimated to happen about 15 million times per year. And that's on the low side. You have 106,306 school bus drivers surveyed, saying that 83,944 vehicles passed their buses illegally on a single day last year. I mentioned legislators doing something about this in Indiana. They still have 2 months for their legislative session, but they're already looking at language to put in bus mounts, school bus mounts. You know, there's so many cars that go around illegally passing these school buses. They're hoping that these cameras that they mount on the school buses perhaps will get photos of these drivers' license plates, increasing stiffer penalties and trying to enforce these laws.
Yeah, I mean, just the numbers are big numbers, but that sounds like, what, an 80% number of incidents in 1 day?
That's just incredible. Wow. And the only thing that can be done is stricter enforcement. These types of bus mount cameras, perhaps, you know, that they're going to introduce. They've already introduced them in North Carolina, Indiana, now considering the same thing.
Okay. Nick, thanks again. Valencia on the story for us there.